What's up, Trad Nation? This is
Breaking Trad.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Breaking Trad. I'm Alan.
Ooh, yeah. I'm Matt.
I'm Amanda. Send help.
Your last name Send Help. Okay.
Convenient last name.
Yeah.
And I'm Brittany going with her.
Oh, I'm knocking the table all around. Does
It's
it
an earthquake.
does it seem monotonous when I was like, all right? I notice I do that every time.
I don't know. You're kind of like a pirate.
I thought you were being a pirate.
Well, I kind of got hung
As you
up
do,
a little
you
bit.
get a little grumbly too. Arr.
Arr. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Matt, what are you doing?
A little trickery.
Hey, look, Matt just joined us.
Welcome
to the show, Matt.
Yeah. Well, Macho Man Randy Savage just stepped out, so
Okay.
Randy Savage or Travis?
that's Alan's guy.
Macho Man Randy Travis. That's
Yep.
it.
Yep.
What was the song he sings?
And that is not a poke at his current state at all, by the way.
what?
He's
Is
not
something
doing too
wrong
good.
with?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bummer.
You know,
I
he
didn't
had
know.
that stroke or whatever.
Yeah.
He had a stroke?
Yeah,
That
never
was
seen
really
the
bad.
TikToks.
No, I did not.
I'm gonna love you
Yeah.
That's it.
forever.
Forever and ever. Amen, brother.
Or as
God
Matt
help
did,
us.
digging up bones. So.
Digging up bones, brother.
Y'all ain't right.
You're not having a good time? This is a good time. This is where we come to hang out and have a good time.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh my Lord, he's never leaving.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Macho Man Randy Savage.
Or Matt.
Or Matt.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out and showing up.
All right. I think we may have worn the wheels off that one.
Yeah,
Either that or we
maybe.
just attracted a whole new genre of viewers.
There you go. Maybe we can just bring them into the traditional archery world and
Right.
everything will be all right.
Yeah.
So we are this week. We've got the Bow Up Against Breast Cancer, which I know when the show airs, it won't be that way, right?
Right.
It'll have
We're,
passed.
well, yeah, but we're just kind of talking about our plans. But we got friends coming this weekend.
Yes,
Two
we do.
guys, two good
Yay.
friends from Tennessee.
Mhm.
And they're gonna
Donnie
come,
and Justin, you know
Yeah.
who you are.
and they're gonna come down and Donnie cooking huge meal or
That's
something.
what
God,
he
I hope
says.
so.
That's what he says. He
Said
says,
he's
"Oh,
bringing
Yeah.
all the foods.
That's what he
oh
says.
man."
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to this weekend. I can't get here fast enough.
Right.
We need a big float for the pond.
Big float for the pond.
Yeah,
Can't
y'all
get my boat at the lake.
crushed our
Donnie.
dreams at the lake, so we're going to the pond.
Donnie.
Oh, what would be cool is a floating target.
We're going to the pond so that Brittany can
Oh.
drown
Run
us
it
once
across
a
the
spider
pond.
appears.
Yeah, there we go.
Just saying.
One got on Kim too.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, great. I'm not getting in the pond with Brittany.
A spider? Was it a spider?
Yes,
Yes.
another one.
One got
No
on
kidding.
Kim.
Just
I
the
put
ones
her-
that walk across the top of the water.
You ought to seen Brittany's leg from flailing from the spider. She had it almost looked like she twisted her ankle. I was like, "What'd you do? Twist your ankle?" She's no. I kicked myself trying to get out of the float.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna tell everybody that. Alan thinks
Now
so
they
much.
know.
No, look,
Well,
it looks pretty rough.
Is it still black and? Oh, it is black and blue. Oh my goodness. Daggone, that looks like a severe spraying almost.
Sprain.
Well, okay, so I'm having fun. We're having fun, but let's not forget what we're here for.
What are we here for?
We are here to promote the sport of traditional archery, and in
Mhm.
doing so, we have guests come on the show, like our current guest, Mr. David Schneider of Whiskey City Traditional Archery. How are you, David?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good, guys. Thanks a lot for having me on.
Oh,
I really
abs-
appreciate it.
Absolutely. No, thank you. You're doing us a favor, man. You're doing us a favor.
They get
That's
tired
what
of
I
us.
like about Breaking Trad. You have some of the best the sport has to offer, and then you have the little guy. You don't forget the little guy.
Definitely did not forget the little guy.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
There ain't nothing little about you, David.
Easy, Alan. Easy.
He's gonna remember that next time he sees you.
Well, I just remember you a big guy. Like you walked up to the table, I was like, "Oh, hey, man, look at
No,
that."
no. No, guys, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Well, we're glad you're here, man. So we get the ball rolling, and Matt's going to start us off.
So, what got you into the sport of traditional archery?
Matt, I got in. Let's see. Like a lot of people when we were kids, I had the red fiberglass longbow, and out there shooting at blackbirds and whatnot. So I had a bow when I was little, and I kind of hung with that thing for a few years. And then my brother-in-law was a instinctive traditional shooter, and it was quite the step up from the fiberglass bow that I was used to, but I ended up just kind of following his footsteps and getting I think my first bow was like a lot of people, like a Ben Pearson or something, something I picked up for $20 here or there.
Yeah. And,
I shot that instinctive for a long time, and then I graduated to nicer bows from there. Yeah, just like anybody else, I just kind of started as a kid and then stayed with me. And my brother-in-law was shooting a lot, and I started shooting with him. And it was just all about fun and camaraderie. And we just sat out at that bag every night and just shot almost religiously 100, 200 arrows a night, and just talk and shoot and have a good time. And that's kind of what I did starting out.
Yeah. So you kind of you started shooting for a little while, and then you kind of backed off a little bit, yeah?
Yeah, I backed off. I got into the competition scene. I don't know, Alan. I find the competition in anything that I do.
Right.
I'm a competitive person, but I'm really not really competing against anybody. I kind of compete against myself.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of gives me a gauge of where everybody else is compared to the time that I'm putting in and where I'm at. But really the only person I ever compete against is kind of myself. But anyway, I think I started going to like Cloverdale back in 1990. The Cloverdale Nationals here in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
It was big back in the day. It's still big, but I started shooting some competition, got into the Abio scene a little bit, and a lot of the local shoots. There was a lot of local shoots around me at that time, and we actually had a traditional only club just right outside of town here where I lived that was pretty prominent. There was a lot of people that showed up to it, and I would religiously go out there in camaraderie with guys, stick bow guys, single string guys.
Yeah.
But I just kind of, let's see, my son started competition bass fishing, and I don't know if you know this, guys, but colleges, there's sports for everything.
Right.
But now there's scholarships for bass fishing. And it's a huge deal, right? Because it's a multi-million-dollar business.
Yeah.
So he got into the competition bass scene when he was coming out of the 8th grade into his freshman year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
And he was dang good at it. So I just kind of laid down the bows for a while and transitioned over with him.
As you should, as you do your fatherly duties, yeah.
Yeah. And so I followed him around all through his high school fishing career, and he ended up getting an NCAA scholarship to Michigan for college to bass fish. And he had a really good collegiate career as well. But now he's out of college. He's been out of college a year, and he's in the workforce doing his own thing. And I was kind of, I don't know if you want to call it like an empty nest syndrome, but I was like, now what am I going to do? So I went down in the basement and doing some spring cleaning, and over there in the corner was my bows,
Right.
And I was like, yeah, why not? So I was looking at them. A buddy of mine was still shooting traditional.
Mm-hmm.
And here's what really got me. I was thinking about it anyway, but he went out to Nixa, Missouri and got him a brand new Black Widow, and he pulled down the driveway with it. He got it out of the car.
Look what I got.
Yeah, he said, hey, shoot this. Now, granted, I hadn't shot 10 years or better.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, shoot this thing. And I grabbed that thing, and I'm not exaggerating, guys. And his bow, his arrows, I stacked 4 arrows, and they're all touching one another. You know what I mean? I was like, I ain't missed, I felt like I was the best archer in the world. So anyway, just drug me right back into it. Now I'm as deep into it as I ever have been, if not deeper.
It's
Right.
hard. It pulls you in real quick.
Oh,
It's
it
like-
pulled me right back in.
and you're like,
Yeah,
now
never
I've
lets
got to
you
go
go.
all of these places. Like, how do I get to all of them?
Yeah, we get really sad and distraught when we don't get to go to all the places.
We want to go see everybody, all our friends we've made in all these states.
Oh, I know.
You know, you're like, who all like?
Well, I've
everybody's
seen you.
gonna be there.
Yeah, right.
I've seen you guys. You know, you've been at almost every big event that I've been to. You
Yeah.
guys have been there, and
Yep.
and Alan and I have become pretty fast friends, and we've talked offline, just bows. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, you guys were shooting behind me down at Trad Fest. Alan, congratulations on that, by the way. It's not easy to win Trad Fest.
Thank you.
By the way, I know you're shooting that DOS, son. Shooting that thing. but
Thank you.
but anyway, you know, we started talking down there, and we have so much in common, obviously, you know, through hobbies and even other hobbies that you have.
Mhm.
But it's not only that's what it's all about. That's the traditional, the single string, if you will, community,
Yep.
Mhm.
you know. Just real quick, and I'm not going to get too far off base, but when I was in it before, in a short 10 years time,
Yeah.
it's just and it's funny, just in a short 10 years time, when I was in it, you know, everybody was kind of instinctive shooting, supposedly, you know, and nobody was really talking about gap shooting, string walking, nobody's really talking about that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was out there, but the information to access it wasn't out there. You know what I mean? And then I get back in it, and my goodness, it's information overload.
Yeah,
There's a mirror to YouTube videos.
You can-
There's the push, you know, all of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can throw a dead cat and hit some archery information.
Yeah. So I get back in and I decide, well, heck, I got to compete with these rascals with, you know, with the Allens of the world. So I got to get good, right? So I start listening to everybody across the board, you know, and it's just like information overload, you know. So I've kind of stripped it down, taken it back to basics, just me personally,
Mhm.
Yeah.
working a lot on my shot sequence, my form, and getting a lot of the gray area out of there, and just enjoying shooting. And I've been shooting better.
Awesome.
better.
See, that's my only issue is I've been getting a lot of the gray area out there, but it keeps growing back.
Yeah.
It's real easy to get inside your head and like kind of get a little psyched out about all the information and the different things that different people are teaching or talking about. And then I have to do the same thing. I'm like, just don't talk to me. Just leave me alone.
Yeah.
Just let me go out.
Amanda or who was that? Amanda or Brittany?
Amanda.
It was
was-
me.
Amanda. Okay. Well, I do that at the stake.
Yeah.
So I do all of that right at the stake when I'm, you know, usually during my drawback. So not good, but no, I've been really blessed. You know, I had some people come to me. They knew I got back into traditional archery. I started looking up some of the people that shot when I shot, and they kind of, you know, they were telling me, you know, there's no more trad clubs around us. Nobody's got a traditional club.
Yeah.
And I was like, what do you mean? You know, now there's shoots. There's a lot of shoots, just like I'm sure there is around you in Alabama.
Mhm.
I don't know how many trad clubs y'all got, but we don't have a lot of trad only clubs. We got,
Just one.
We got-
That's I think all we have too.
There
It's
was
not a lot.
no, that little one outside of Montgomery. What was that? That we went to outside
Not-
of Montgomery?
Not Saluga.
Not Saluga. What was
Yeah.
that club? Yeah.
Not a Solga.
Not a
Not a
Solga.
Solga.
Yeah.
No
So
to Solga.
so two.
Noda Solga.
Yeah,
Noda
Noda
Solga.
Solga.
Not a Solga.
I'm telling you, Alabama's got some tongue twisters.
Yeah.
Noda Solga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's spelled NOTSULGA, right? It's
Yeah.
It looks like not Saluga.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Not
right.
Saluga.
Yeah.
Got it.
It's funky, but no,
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's hard to find just a traditional only. Most of like your ASA, your BHA, all those, you know, they're all encompassing. They've got the compound shooters wrapped in there, so there's
Well,
not a
that-
lot of trad people there.
Yeah, and I mean, I understand it. I mean, you know, these targets, foam has oil in it. They're not getting any cheaper, you know, and
Right.
and in order for these clubs to survive, they want, you know, they got to cater to everybody across the board. So I started thinking about that, and I I'm not a rich man or anything by no means, but I got a little place here. The Lord's blessed me with, and I thought, well, I got enough acres to maybe put a shoot together. And then that kind of transpired to me. The next thing you know, I'm looking at targets. I'm trying to get acquisition of those. I'm trying to get those pulled in, and it just went kind of fast. And then on a whim, I booked Rod Jenkins. I know you guys had him on the show. Rod's a great guy.
Mm-hmm.
We got him. Somebody had a cancellation, and I ended up getting him, and we had him here at the last week of April and had a Rod Jenkins clinic before we ever had any members.
Oh, wow.
So, I put this thing together. I get the targets, and it just happens to be, and it's a lot of work. I know you guys have, Alan, I know you specifically, you know a little bit about the 3D side of things, and you've set up a target or two in your day, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So it was just basically me and a couple buddies, Lanny Ryan and Justin Jump, and we got out here and started clearing trails and doing all that stuff, preparing for this, not even knowing if anybody would show up.
Yeah.
So we had the Rod Jenkins clinic, booked that, and then I put my schedule together for the year. And oddly enough, I couldn't, I didn't want to step on the other 3D clubs in the state.
Right.
So I had to pick Easter as my first shoot. It's
hard.
I hope that's not sacrilegious, but I mean, I made the sign-in time go to like 5 o'clock, so the churchgoers, they could come after their Easter service.
Right.
Well, I didn't expect the turnout, and this isn't going to sound like a big number, but I mean, we had 35 shooters, all trad shooters, all single string shooters.
That's
That
pretty
was
good
your
for
first
Easter.
First shoot on Easter.
you
First
can't-
shoot on Easter and 35.
Yeah, I was pretty excited about that. I thought, well, heck, maybe this thing's going to roll. Well, we just had our last shoot this past Sunday, and it's went up considerably. We have 50 shooters.
Oh, good.
So, and the great thing about that is we've already up to like 68 members or 70 members. We're close, and it's growing. And I fully anticipate having 100 members by the end of this year.
Hey, and that's good for your first year. So y'all just started. This is your first year, correct?
Well, yes, ma'am. We've
Yeah.
actually only had 2 shoots. We're on
Yeah.
our second shoot. Yeah.
So how did you come up with the name, the Whiskey City Archers?
It's a kind of a funny story. It's not as what you may think. So anyway, I'm from a town called Lawrenceburg, Indiana. It's about a half hour from Cincinnati, Ohio, about an hour from Indianapolis, Indiana.
Yeah.
And it's in the southeast corner of the state. Well, that's the biggest Seagram's distillery in the world. Lawrenceburg has a really good aquifer. We have really good water.
Uh-huh.
So that brought the Seagram's company way back in, I don't know, like the early 1900s. They were here, and and they were making their whiskey and their gin and all that stuff. So we have the big Seagram's distillery here. And so because of that, the city of Lawrenceburg was always kind of coined Whiskey City, Indiana. So I thought when we was coming up with a name, I thought Whiskey City. When I started this journey down the path of trad bows or whatever, I was in Lawrenceburg. Now I live just outside of it in a town called Milan, Indiana.
Yeah.
Milan's known for, there's a basketball movie a while back called Hoosiers with Gene Hackman.
Uh-huh.
A little school that went in one state that was based on this town. And anyway, that's about all I can come up with, but that's 1954 champs here, Milan in basketball.
Well, just
So
curious.
that's where the shoots are held, in Milan.
Okay.
Well, just curious. What bow are you shooting now?
I'm shooting a Widow, a PSA.
So you couldn't help yourself. You had to go get one too.
I'm not gonna. I have one of those. I've shot it for like 5 years, so that's a nice.
Yeah, I like. And there's a lot of good bowyers out there. A lot of good bows. I mean, it's really comes right down to personal preference, and the more you try out the other ones, it's a shot in the dark, really. I mean, there's a lot of good bowyers out there, but I prefer Widows. when I was younger, like when I was a teenager,
Mhm.
and couldn't afford a widow, I kind of stared down my nose at them. But it's only because I couldn't afford one.
I got lucky and won mine, so I can't.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome.
I shot it as much as I possibly could. All
And
the time.
ever since, I've stared down my nose at her.
Yep. Yep. I won that thing and I ran. I grabbed my mom and it was pouring rain and went straight back out onto the trail and we shot the whole course again. I was like, I gotta go shoot it.
And then there's a picture somewhere. We need to put this up on Amanda. You need to find this picture and put it up on the Break and Trad page or whatever. There's a picture of you laying in the bed with your PSA. With like no room for me to get in.
I was sleeping. Yeah,
I get
Bo
it.
was in the bed.
I
with
get
me.
it. It's storming pretty bad here right now. I mean, it's coming down. It's looking pretty ominous outside, and I'm holding mine just for safety.
Yeah, there you go.
It's not only a great hunting bow or a bow in general, but it's also your security blanket.
Well,
There you go.
a
There you
tornado
go.
comes your way, you just shoot it.
Or
Yeah,
it goes under the mattress first.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Hey guys, Alan, this last shoot, you'll appreciate it. Speaking of widows, I had this last shoot. I typically don't shoot my own shoots. I mean, I just kind of hang out there in the clubhouse, which is my garage, my barn.
Give everybody else a chance.
And just, yeah, right. Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, that's what I'm kind of leading to. This last shoot, I got a lot of support this last shoot. Trevor Fielder came down. You guys know Trevor with Triple T Strings. And Kenny Jordan lives 10 minutes from me. Now, I just met him a couple months ago. Super good guy, but arguably the best two longbow shooters that are out there today. I mean, just arguably, you know, back and forth, them two are, and just really good shooters. Then I had Jared Mullis from Indianapolis come down.
We know Jared
Barebow stud, you know what I mean? And I go out on a cast, and here, no matter how good I thought I was, I go on a cast with those three guys.
There you go.
And man, I mean, Mullis shot like a 297 or something. You know, it's one of those scores you see, and you think, there again, talking about looking down my nose at widows when I was younger. Every once in a while, I'm sorry, I may be just a little cynical in nature, but I see a 297 and I think, or 290 or something like that on a 30 target course. I think, man, I'd have to see that.
Right.
You know? Well, I seen it this past Sunday. These guys are in a different, they're just in a different league. You know, they're just, it's real good shooters. And that's transpired with me now going down to West Virginia with them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're gonna be at the Abio?
Yeah, I'm going to go down, man. I mean, Trevor's set up down there, and we're going to go meet him down there, and we're going to sling some arrows together. So
cool.
I tell you, that's the good thing about the trad community right there. You know, if you're looking for like-minded people that, you know, that just aren't one-sided, that welcome you with open arms. Alan, like you guys, you, Amanda, Matt, Brittany, I've seen you at 3 or 4 events. You know my name now when I walk up. You know what I mean? It's just it's just a great community of people, you know. So I'm learning a lot from those guys already. And even though I've shot a long while, I don't know. And Trevor Fielder actually told me that. I've shot for a long while, but don't mean I necessarily shot right.
I feel that.
But anyway, so I'm going down there with them, and you know, I'm a firm believer if a guy was to golf all year with Tiger Woods, at the end of the year he'd be a pretty good golfer.
Right.
So
right.
So I hope to up my game a little bit, you know. There's nothing wrong with trying to be better at what you love to do.
Oh,
and that's what I'm trying to do.
It's an ever evolving. Like there's always something new to learn.
So
yeah.
I mean, I love to compete. Like a lot of people, they don't particularly care for that aspect of it because it's supposed to be a more genuine type thing. But even still, I find camaraderie and competition to kind of go hand in hand and coincide with each other.
Even between just like the people we go out with, like just us.
Yeah,
like I'm
like,
always
if
trying
even-
to beat Alan. Like it's a every day
even
thing.
even if we're not like even if the place doesn't take a
Yeah.
scorecard, you know what I mean? We're busting each other.
Or making small like bets to the
Yeah,
side.
You know, just
So you guys poke at one another even out on the court.
oh
Oh,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah. I was that
We love
cast.
some
I was
we love some
the
trash
cast. I was
talk.
just telling you about.
It's
You gotta have some thick skin around those guys.
Yeah.
ours typically lead to innuendos. If is am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Innuendo.
In the window.
In the
In-
window.
Into windows.
The
Windows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
even, like my mom and dad, their whole group of friends, like it's just like it's a constant
Oh man.
like laughing.
Now,
your tail
Amanda,
off.
your dad's kind of, he's the OG, if you will, down there around your parts. I kind of did a little Googling, you know.
Oh
Yeah, well, based off a conversation, I don't want this to be weird.
yeah.
Based
no,
off the
no, it's
conversation
already
Alan
weird,
and I
David. Let's
had.
go.
They did a little
We
voyeuristic
had this
googling.
conversation, and you was like, you know, I had to up my game just to shoot with them guys,
Yeah.
you know. So
I was wondering if he was going to bring this up, so I was
So I ran
no,
a
it was all
background check.
good. It was the highest form of compliment that you could pay someone. I mean, and so yeah, you come from a long line of traditional shooters, you know, and you've been around stick bows probably your whole life in one way or another, right?
Just about, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so the conversation David and I had, and I will go ahead and say it. But
Yeah, man.
we was talking about he had said something about, you know, what's your process or why, you know, he said something about people shoot 400 arrows a day. And I was like, well,
Yeah.
no, I don't really shoot 400 arrows a day. As a matter of fact, I haven't shot my bow in a week, and I hope to get out there to do it, you know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, we were talking about decent shots. And he goes,
Yeah.
and I said, man, the only reason why I think I'm good as I am now is because I just tried really hard not to disappoint Scott Gray. I mean,
Scott got me.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
He didn't realize exactly what he said. So, you know, and he's shooting the way he is. All of a sudden, I want to know who Scott Gray is. You know what I mean? So,
Oh, there's
He's
a
one
lot.
of our faves.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Well,
Does he have an OnlyFans?
Can we convince
Oh,
him to
Lord.
do this?
I think that's what I think that I'm going to start a archery oriented OnlyFans.
We have like
There you go.
like the
There you go.
firefighter calendar, but with archers.
Yeah, and that already has the perfect pants.
Oh, break out the chaps, Matt.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
My dad's been shooting a while. Him and all my uncles, they started off
Oh, yeah.
out together.
They couldn't even go.
Goes.
They couldn't even go on vacation this past. Like they're on vacation right now. They couldn't even go on vacation without taking their bows with them.
Oh yeah,
I was getting ready to ask you. I wonder what that vacation consists of. I was wondering if the bows were along. You know.
They usually because they had it's them and their best friends from Tennessee, and they had been driving all the way down to the Keys.
Mhm.
And that's
Yeah.
where they were going, but it just got to be where it was just too far of a drive to go. But like they would send us pictures. They had their target and their bows, and they were shooting at their like little condo beach house down this hallway, practicing shooting. I don't know if they have them this time. I bet they
No,
do.
I got a text message. I think from Tony Jen. It was
Oh no, they did. They went to
Jaton.
they drove and went to a competition
Yeah.
down there on their way to their beach house.
the text says breaking trad recon team located in Florida.
Yeah.
And it was like
it was the back of the hats.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the front
Yeah.
hats. Yep. That is right. They do have their stuff down there.
There you go.
So-
Now they're catching baby hammerhead sharks though. I've been getting pictures of their sharks they're pulling in.
Is Scott shooting it with a bow?
No, but
oh wow,
Tim,
yeah,
Tim did get shot with by a
stingray. He got
Oh,
barred
yeah.
in his foot.
He took a
So-
stingray to the foot.
So David, real quick, because I think we're running on time yet. But
Yeah, man.
one of the biggest things to me is the world of traditional archery and the individuals in it. Okay. And like I told you over the phone the other day, like we know people who run nuclear power plants and people
that's crazy.
who worked for NASA and things like that. But what is it that you do for a living?
I'm a police officer. I'm chief of police there in the town I grew up in and just right outside of Cincinnati. And
Awesome.
and and I don't even know how to field that really, but where we're at in the world today, you know what I mean? Every time you turn on the news, it's another shock and awe situation. It's this, it's that, it's another officer's done this or done that. I'm not going to go down the barrel on that. I'm just going to say we're in some trying times. I think I'm safe to say that.
Oh, of course.
You know, we're in some real trying times. And for me, you know, the simplistic nature of a single string bow takes that all away from me. Right. It just does. It's like I was reunited with my first car, my first love, my first this. I should have probably said love before car.
I get that. I get that. Although I never had one to particularly brag about, I don't think.
Right. Yeah. My first love didn't come till a few years ago. Anyway, long story short, when I'm out there and when I'm shooting, it's mindless. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm thinking about my sequence and all that, but it's my escape. You know, I guess it's tying flies to the fly fisherman or whatever, you know, but
the troubles of the world like melt away.
You forget about the badge and you forget about all the.
You forget about that stuff, man. And I tell you, man, and if we don't have an escape, I don't care what you do for a living, whether you're a roofer, whether you're a doctor, whether whatever, nuclear, a rocket scientist, you know,
right.
You got to have that escape. And the beautiful thing about the trad community, it's kind of like an international language, you know.
Absolutely.
If you're an archer, whether you're a compound shooter, whether you're a recurve shooter, whether you shoot bare bow, you all have something in common. We all have something in common, the love of archery, you know.
Right.
So it just makes it easy when I have these club events. I mean, guys, I got stuff kicking off. I don't want to brag too much because it's not bragging. I'm just proud of it. I've got people stepping up to the plate now, and I've never even asked anybody. They're like, man, you want us to stop down and help? You want us to target set out? We had 2 club members the last club. Now, one thing I want to tell you real quick, I'll make this quick. At the Whiskey City Trad shoots, it's no hot dogs and hamburgers. We do it up right. You know, we do smoked barbecue. We do homemade shit. We do it right. So people that come here, they're like, man, I had 3 people come the last time just for the food. They didn't even shoot.
There you go.
So, but it's the camaraderie. Yes, I shot with 3 world champion shooters. That was an awesome thing. But you don't have to be a world champion. I love the traditional community. My fun is when I actually come back to the clubhouse and I hear everybody else's stories, you know, and, you know, that's why, you know, and Alan, I think you can weigh in on that. You know, we can talk an hour on bows, you know,
right.
Because we both have that passion and that drive for it.
And we have.
So yeah, I say we have. Yeah. So, and I don't know if he told you, Matt. I don't know if he bounced this off you, man, and got the green light. But you know, I'm trying to get him up here in the Corn Belt this season, get him away from them little bitty Doberman pincer sized Alabama deer.
Our baby goats.
I did let Matt know.
Yeah,
did you let that cat out of the bag?
He did.
Like almost within an hour of speaking to you.
So you were down. Yeah,
I'm down.
It's going down this season. Breaking trad in the Hoosier heartland.
Yeah, I mean, just saying, I don't know if we can, you know, get away without taking the girls. Just throwing that out there, but
guys trip, man. What are you doing?
Hey, I didn't know. Listen,
you can put us in our own blind, and y'all can go do whatever you want.
Hey, we gotta have somebody to drive.
Will stick together.
That's fine by me, but the guest bedroom's just twin size beds, so you guys are gonna have to work that out on your own. Scoot over. Yeah.
So
you've never seen us all in one tent together, apparently.
Speaking of OnlyFans, 4 guys, 1 tent.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh,
so we like to ask this of all guests that we remember to ask this of. But what is one thing for a new shooter that you think is the most important thing when you first get started?
I tell you what, you know, there's a lot of varying opinions on this, but here's what I've seen. I got a really good buddy, and he won't mind I say his name's Justin Jump. He's helped me tremendously with the club. Him and his boy Porter come out here, teenage son,
out.
and they work and help me. But he got into traditional archery because I was into it, and then I phased out with my son to go bass fishing, and then he was just by himself. Well, when I got back into traditional archery, he did too. Now, right off the bat, he got obsessed, like a mad scientist with spine of the arrow, barrel shaft, and paper tune. Wanted to, just tuning the arrow. And I would say for the new guy starting out, don't think so much, just go get you, there's plenty of arrows out there that are already fletched, so on and so forth. Go get an arrow, you know what I mean? Off a spine chart, get as close as you can. Don't worry about all that tuning and all that stuff. Just shoot, have fun, just shoot.
Right.
The consistency and all that'll come, and you can figure all that stuff out later. Feathers are our friends.
Right.
So just don't overthink it. And I have to tell myself that, guys. I've been shooting for 30 years, well, with a little hiatus in there, but I have to tell myself that. I got right back in, and guess what I did? Exactly the same thing. I was overthinking everything.
Right.
Yeah.
I had to, this isn't a good terminology, but I had to dumb it down. I had to, and I told you that, Alan. I mean, the thing about it is I kind of had to get back to basics. And Rod Jenkins, and I think he may have said this on your show, he said the only thing that separates the world-class shooters from the average shooter, or the people that want to be world-class shooters, is they're really good at the basics. They're just really good at the basics. And when world-class shooters start shooting bad, they just go back to the basics and build from the ground up. So I don't know.
I call it going back to zero.
Go back to zero.
Yeah. Start from the top and keep running.
Yeah. And I think anybody that's real serious about, single string, I think no matter how good or bad or whatever you are, if you stay in it long enough, there's probably several times throughout your single string journey that you got to kind of do that,
Yeah.
because there is a lot of information out there. And here's the thing, somebody can tell me something and I'll try it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'll start messing with myself over that,
Yeah.
So really I just kind of went back to basics. I'm trying to get a good repeatable form, and I'm trying not to think so much. And I think with all the intel that's out there, with all the information that's out there, a new shooter can go down that wormhole real quick
and be overwhelmed.
And I think they may tend to get frustrated, and they may put up the bow and just think, well, it's just not working for me. It's like playing guitar. And I know you can relate to this, we learn through repetition. We learn through repetition, but nobody starts out, knowing 6 chords. You start out a chord or two.
You start out fumbling through 3. That's what you do.
Yeah. So that stuff will happen. Just remember, it's supposed to be fun.
Right.
Well, remember, when you learn those 3 chords, you can play every punk song.
GC and
well, that's what Elvis only knew 3 chords. He sold quite a few records.
Right.
That's right.
That's what they say.
Well, David, so we've reached the point of the show where we are we're kind of done. We're gonna transition over into the shoots so that we can fill everybody in. But
Absolutely.
I really appreciate you coming on, man. It was
I appreciate it, guys, and I appreciate you all for you've shared my shoots, and I've had people show up here that. If anybody's not taking advantage of breaking trad, sharing their shoots, I've had people show up here in Indiana. There's a lot of people listen to your podcast, and they say, "Hey, we heard your shoot on breaking trad," and so that is just awesome, cool, and I really do appreciate it. You know what I mean? So
Well, that's
you've
what
always
we're here
been
for.
good about sharing my shoots.
Well, no, I mean, get the word out,
yeah,
man.
tell,
You're-
you know anybody else having shoots, tell them
Yeah.
to send us their
Yeah,
stuff.
and you know,
the word.
yeah, the world champions would not be the world champions if somebody wasn't setting up targets.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's the thing. And I think Dwayne Martin said the same thing to me. The people that set up the clubs don't really get enough credit. You know, they
No.
show up, they show their talent, the
Mhm.
skin in the game, and they show their talent. But really, it started with 2 or 3 guys that cleared all them trails, welded those stakes, painted those stakes, put them out, trimmed branches. You
Right.
know,
Mhm.
you
It's a lot
know.
of
So
work.
anyway, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly, man. We've got people like yourself putting these shoots on. It's you're doing everybody who loves to shoot a bow a favor, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. I want to take some club members. Maybe not this year, and I know you guys are in it. I know you did that Alabama trad archers. Raised like $7 or $8 for the Children's Hospital. That's great, by the way.
well,
But
I
the
just
Tannehill,
Yeah.
the Howard Hill Classic. I want to carpool a bunch of club members down there, and I know you guys
Yes.
are into that one too.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, so
So-
just to be clear, ASTB they let us shoot, and we were just we're members of the club there, just like your club, yeah.
Okay.
And we're
yeah.
just overly proud to be a member of a club that's willing to do that for the children in the state of Alabama. And so we just
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
I don't want to get things mixed up
Oh,
like
yeah,
we did
and
it or
then-
anything
no,
like that.
not on us at
Yeah.
all. But then, like you said, Terry, they're like they.
Well,
need
I'm just saying you
so
guys
much.
promoted it. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
Yeah.
you guys promoted the thing for months ahead of time, and that helps. I mean, anybody that's out there promoting these clubs keeps our sport. That's what we all keep doing on the weekends. You know, it
Right.
keeps the sport moving forward.
Yeah.
So,
And you gotta
so
build
yeah,
up
you
those
guys are doing a
members.
great job.
Well,
Gotta
thank
get
you.
the
Yeah.
members out there, right?
Right. And
Yeah.
and thank you for your support, man. We
Yeah, thank you,
appreciate it. It means a
David.
lot.
No, it's awesome, guys. I appreciate you.
Well, listen, man, we will see you at the next one. Maybe in
All
West
right,
Virginia,
man.
all right?
Where will that
West
be?
Virginia-
Where will that
I
be?
don't know. Where
What did
will
I
it
say?
be?
What did I just say? West Virginia?
You said West Virginia.
In
I
West
think.
Virginia, probably at the
Oh.
Abio Worlds.
Yep. I'll see you there.
All right,
All
man.
right.
Hopefully from the podium.
Yeah, right?
That's right.
You can wave at
Hopefully,
us.
hopefully I'm one podium taller than you.
Right? wave down at him. Just wave at him
And
from above.
I don't know that it's gonna happen. I don't even know.
Hey,
that I'll
Alan,
get
if
up.
that happens, you will have to go back and play this soundbite over and over and over.
No,
Yep.
and we will, and you will have to take a picture of you waving down at me.
I could see Alan in the bed late at night, just so disgusted that he lost, just listening to the soundbite over and over while he sleeps.
Yeah. Never mind. I'm just going to leave it. I don't think there's any fear of that happening this year, but I'm coming. Trust
Yeah.
me.
Well,
I'm a worker. I'm coming.
I hear you, man. All right, well then, we'll see you in West Virginia, and we look forward to it, man.
All right, my friends. I appreciate all 4 of you. Thank you so much.
Bye, David.
All right, bye, David.
Bye-bye.
Are we recording now? All right. So here we are going to list off some of the shoots that we know that are coming up. June 5th will be another Whiskey City Traditional Archers shoot. That is this weekend. I will make sure I post the flyer that's got all the dates and all the information for David's shoot. Go out, support them. Become a member if you're local. Even if you're not local, become a member. Help support these new archery clubs. Let's see what else. I think we got some more going on that same weekend.
We do. We've got the Howard Hill Traditional Archery Event. It's the 18th annual classic. June 3rd, 4th, and 5th. It's at Tannehill Historical State Park in McCalla, Alabama. There's going to be all kinds of events, shoot downs, and I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. All the things we've been talking
no
about it. We
sneezes.
have not, we've been talking about it. We hope to see you guys there. So this weekend is when that will be. Y'all can check out the flyer on our Facebook page.
Whoop, whoop. Can't wait. Everybody come see us. Yay. All right. So that same weekend, there's also going to be a Reinhardt 100 at Bismarck Shills and Nishubowen in Bismarck, North Dakota. That one's way up there, North Dakota.
I'm looking for the for the map. It's not there. I look to the right all the time. There's a map. There's no map. Okay, June 4th and 5th in Chippewa Bow Hunters will be having an event in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin.
All right, June 11th and 12th, 11th and 12th, 31st annual Rapids Archers traditional shoot in Coon Rapids, Minnesota.
Not to be confused with a coon shoot.
They might have one. You know.
They might have one. And then that same weekend, June 11th, is a fun shoot competition in Harrodsburg, Kentucky, with our friends at Kentucky Traditional Bow Hunters Association.
All right, same weekend, June 11th through the 12th, Abio Southern Trad Championship, hosted by the Panhandle Bow Hunters. That will be located at the Klondike Archery Park in Pensacola, Florida.
And last but not least for this particular episode, Southern Traditional Archery Association, Saturday, Sunday, June 25th and 26th at Enid Lake, Mississippi.
All right. Well, that does it for another episode of Breaking Trad.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, brother.
Y'all kind of sound like the Kool-Aid Man.
No, that's more like
Ooh,
Kind of look like him,
Oh,
too.
I have got a great question. What was that?
Guess you'll have to watch the podcast to know.
Bazinga.
Bazinga. No, seriously, real quick question. Is the Kool-Aid Man the glass or is he the Kool-Aid? Is he the jug or is he the Kool-Aid? Which one is it?
He's the jug.
He's the jug. He is the pitcher.
Yeah.
Really?
He's not a jug. He's a pitcher.
Never knew you played baseball.
Or the combination of the both, because if he didn't have
I
Kool-Aid,
don't think so.
No,
How can he
he's
be
the
the man?
pitcher, and the Kool-Aid is his insides.
yeah.
What do you think, Matt?
Those are like
Combination.
his organs.
I think I never really cared when you asked the question.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Kool-Aid. Yeah.
It's Macho Man Randy Savage's wife.
That's how they get. He's like, oh, yeah, that's when he. Hey, Kool-Aid. No, golly, how old are you? Well, don't say it.
I'm 35.
Are you really?
Yes.
Me too.
Alan, you're a month older than me.
A
One
a month.
whole month
You're a month.
older.
Deal with that microphone, Alan.
No, that's.
I was
You
gonna go
didn't- you wa-
younger.
You
and I
wasn't
went,
watching her.
older. Older.
And now that you're done with your
But
John Mayer
now-
impression,
But how
Body
old
is
do
a
I look?
wonderland.
Because I don't feel like I look 35.
I don't think you look 35.
How old do I look?
not a day under 45.
I know. So when real quick story time. So when I was like 20 years old, I worked outside all the time. I built houses for a living, right?
Never once use sunscreen.
Never once.
Bum,
You-
bum, bum.
Yeah, never once use sunscreen. But so I'm sitting on what are you doing? So I'm sitting up on on a brick retaining wall, and some guy comes up to me and goes, ¿Qué pasa, amigo? ¿Dónde es tu jefe? Mi necesita trabajo. And I was like,
He just called you a heifer.
I said, my boss is over there, man. About 2 weeks after he come in, he was talking to me. I forget this guy's name. Anyways, he was talking to me. He goes, dude, I straight up thought you were Hispanic when I first. I thought you was like a 40-year-old Hispanic. And I was like, no, I'm only 20-something years old. So it's been that way for a long, 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 long time. I've always looked much
But that
older.
Wear
mustache
your
or beard tickled your mother when
SPF
you came out.
50
But
kids.
Your SPF 50 kids.
Wear it.
Put your
Just telling the
sunscreen
kids
on.
to wear their sunscreen.
I'm lost now. Like, I have no idea what's going
That's why
on.
you
If
look
you
like
don't
you're
want to look
45
old.
because you worked in the
Oh,
sun and never
yeah.
wore sunscreen.
Right. I get it. I'm all wrinkly because of the ultraviolet. Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
it
but
could have
speaking
been
of
the having kids
screens-
at 15 thing
speaking
too,
of
but
screens, we hope you're paying attention to us on YouTube.
Oh,
Because you
Yeah.
can find
there you
Break
go.
and Trad on YouTube as well.
not the Irish band.
Well, you have to say, just if you are confused and you run into the Irish folk band, add podcast to the end of your search query. That's right, right? Query.
Yes.
So add podcast and it'll pop up. It's a red screen with actually I don't even know what it looks like, but it's red.
Shameful.
Yeah. Anyways.
But if you're watching,
David
this,
was
then you are
awesome
already
as
here.
always.
We're
Exactly.
so glad
Yes.
to have you.
Yes, David was awesome.
He was super awesome. He has been super cool since the
closing-
day we met him.
Yeah, you closing out the show this time?
I think I am. I just wanted to say once again that David was awesome. It was a great podcast.
Yes.
Glad he came on the show. Can't wait to go check out his Whiskey City traditional
I
archers.
wish we
Shut up,
could.
Alan. Shoots.
He was a fun pile of nickels.
Oh.
Oh my god. Y'all spend too much time together.
Anyways.
All right, listen, yeah.
Matt,
Roll that outro.
get us out of here.
Guys, we're glad you could join us for this week's episode of Breaking Trad. We hope you had as much fun as we did.
You can catch the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts.
You can contact us at breakingtradpodcast@gmail.com or on Facebook at breakingtradal and on Instagram at breaking_trad. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel.
Remember to subscribe and follow us. That way you'll get notifications every time we drop a new episode.
Join us next week, and remember,
Make every shot count.